So this past Sunday, I had told my wife that I seen a recipe for some chip dip, and I wanted to make me and her some chip dip so we could watch the Jacksonville Jaguars. This was mine and my wife's personal time. This is what we do on Sunday. We like to sit down and have some food, have some drinks, and watch football. So I go over to Walmart, and I was going to Walmart to get 5 items: ground beef, some salsa, cream cheese, shredded cheese, and some potato chips to dip out the chip dip. I got my 5 items, and I walked up to the checkout lane, and here's where the story begins. I got behind a woman that was in her pajamas. Now, I don't know how all of you feel, but when I see someone in public in their pajamas, I think it says so much about their character. I'm sure that you Democrats will have something different to say about that. But when I see someone in their pajamas in a grocery store, I think it says so much about your character. So much. So now that I'm behind this woman, I realize, oh my God, I wonder, is this getting ready to be one of the normal checkouts that I seem to go through when I always go through the checkout line? First of all, this woman's grocery cart is full. It's overflowing. I mean, it's just full, plumb full. In the front of the cart, she's got a young baby, and the young baby is on an iPad. She's got another young child that's at her leg, holding her hand. She's got, I believe, maybe a teenager. He's got on some Beats headphones, and I don't know if he was listening to music or he was playing games on his iPhone. This woman smelled like someone had taken her clothes and washed them in a marijuana soap. She reeked of marijuana. I mean, she reeked. But she had her nails done. She had the 10-gallon eyelashes on. And she had her hair, she had her hair pulled up in a bonnet. So I'm sure her hair was done as well. And I immediately got to thinking, let me take a look down here and see if she's got on house shoes, because this will say all that I believe that this experience is getting ready to say. And sure enough, I look down and she's got on house shoes. House shoes. This is 11:45 in the morning. And you've got on pajamas and you've got on house shoes and you smell like marijuana and you've got 3 kids with you with a grocery cart full of food. What do you think comes next? What do you think comes next? Some of you, I don't even have to give this answer to. What do you think comes next? I immediately tell myself, I bet you this woman pays for these groceries with an EBT card. If I was a betting man, I would have won. She got her groceries paid for, and she reached in her purse and she pulled out her EBT card and she paid for her groceries with an EBT card. Now, for those of you who feel the need to tell me EBT is for people who need it, I agree. I agree. Why don't we give EBT cards to our homeless veterans? Why don't we use government assistance to our homeless veterans? Why don't we give them some food? Why don't we let them use it? They deserve it. Why don't we give it to some of our first responders who may have lost a limb, who may have been hurt in the line of duty? Why don't we give it to them? But here we have an able-bodied woman, able-bodied, who has just purchased name brand groceries. Totino's Pizza Rolls and Kellogg's Frosted Flakes and Neapolitan ice cream and Ruffles potato chips and Little Debbie snack cakes and on and on. Me and my wife don't do bad financially. We do pretty good. I go to Walmart and the first thing I go for is the Great Value. You know, Great Value is the cheaper Walmart brand. I don't never go for the name brand things, but here someone is that probably hasn't worked a day in her 25-year-old life, and she's paying for food with an EBT card. So she pays for that. While I'm paying for my little 5 items, my mind is racing now. Because now I'm thinking, I wonder what kind of car she drives. I wonder what kind of car she drives. One thing that I could easily accept is if I walked out of Walmart and I seen this woman and her 3 kids and they were getting on the public transportation. They were getting on a bus. I could accept it, and it might would have made my life and my thinking process a little easier. But oh no. I walk out that door and I'm looking for her. I'm looking because the curiosity killed the cat, but I'm curious. I want to know, what are you driving? And I look over to my left and I see her 1 aisle over from where I was parked. You think I walked down the aisle where I was parked? Absolutely not. I walked my happy behind right down the aisle where she was because I wanted to see what kind of car she was driving. She got into a 2021 QX80. Do you know how much those are? Do you know how much a QX80 is? A 2021? Google it. Save me the time of telling you. But I was appalled. I was appalled. Why? Here is an able-bodied human being that just spent $300 and something on groceries using government assistance. Government assistance, for those of you who don't understand, government assistance was supposed to be a helping hand. It was supposed to help those in time of need until they get back on their feet. These human beings today, and I'm using the word human beings so I don't call anybody out of their name. These human beings today, they're retiring. They're retiring. They are using government assistance as a retiring mechanism. They are fooling the system. How do you smell like marijuana in line at the grocery store? How do you have your nails done? How do you have on pajamas? How do you have your eyelashes done? And you got your hair in a bonnet. And you pay for all this with an EBT card. And then you go out and you get in a 2021 QX80 by Infiniti. How does this happen? Because these people, they don't have any morals. The Democrat Party has provided for these people, and they continue to provide for them. They continue to provide. They don't want them to accept accountability for anything. That's why they were fighting so hard to get SNAP benefits. That's why. That's why. How many of these people on SNAP do you think went out and got a job in the few days or the few weeks that they were without benefits? How many do you think got a job? Have you ever seen these riots? It could be a work boot place. A work boot place right in the middle of where they're rioting. Nobody ever riots and tears up the work boot place. Nobody goes and steals work boots. And I'm not being funny. Nobody ever steals work boots. The moral of this story is I don't have any sympathy for you losing your benefits. I believe you should be drug tested. I believe you should show proof of income. And I believe that you should be made to get a second job before you get on government assistance. There is no way that an able-bodied human being should be using government assistance and making it a lifetime job.
Yeah, that is a great Black American. Honestly, I respect him a lot. I watch a lot of his videos and I like this. This one is my best among all of the videos he does because I really do not take sides with a lot of things he said. But you see this part of this SNAP benefits, I definitely agree with this one because this SNAP benefits should be given more to old veterans, people who are retired. They have people who have lost their limbs, people who are special, needs, and all of that. I also believe that those people should be considered first before any other person. Now we'll find out that people who are even getting a lot of money on these SNAP benefits are people who are doing very well. Like they're the one who go out there to fight for it, even when they can actually afford it. But that's the truth. If you want a great American, it should start from you as a person. Take away greed and selfishness. If you're able-bodied, you should work. And that's why I like Black Americans. When they talk about this whole SNAP benefits and all of that in November, when Trump said he's not giving SNAP benefits and all of that, Black Americans weren't bothered because Black Americans were not getting SNAP benefits in the past. They weren't given. Even when they were paying taxes, they were working and building America. Even when they needed it the most, they weren't given. Their schools were not being developed. A lot of things, their communities and all of that, they were being marginalized. They weren't even included. A lot of them couldn't even vote in the past. So many of them, to even vote, they'll have to pay money to vote. That is how marginalized Black Americans are. And they've been used to it, managing their lives. Then here comes a president that said, oh, we are not giving you guys benefits anymore. And people expected that, oh, Black Americans are going to be on the streets crying, begging. A lot of people even envisage that Black Americans are going to be in the stores stealing or breaking stores, all of that. At some point, Walmart and the rest were saying they're not going to open their shops again. Who do you think they were targeting? It was pure Black people, just Black people. But here in this video, it's a Black American who is saying, I believe this thing should be reviewed. People who are even meant to be getting these things are not getting it. They have lots of single mothers out there who need this thing even more. People who are single mothers, their partners are in prison, or some of them, their baby daddies are deadbeats. A whole lot of them go through a lot to bring up these children themselves. They are also part of the people who need more of this EBS and SNAP benefits. But to be honest, so many of them are not even getting it. The ones who are getting it, you'll be shocked at how comfortable they are. And they are living on SNAP benefits and they are very comfortable. I saw in the comment section where someone said that he is a veteran and what he gets in a month is just $23 in his card. And I'm like, oh my God. I am also in support that these things should be reviewed very well. And if you're able-bodied, you're not sick, you're okay, you're fine, you're strengthened, I believe it will be fine if you can get a second job too. These white people don't even want to work. They cry the most. When the government said, oh, they're not giving them benefits anymore, you will see them crying. You see them crying. And I'm like, what the heck? What the heck? It's really crazy. And that has got to stop. I just hope this thing is being accepted and then they review this. So a lot of black people are not getting benefits. The fact that they are not speaking out doesn't mean they're very comfortable. They are not, but they choose not to. They choose to live in what they have. I think this thing should really be reviewed. And some people are getting it just because of white privilege as well. I think this thing should be reviewed. I want to know your thoughts in the comment. Do you think it should be reviewed, or they should just continue with it however they want it to be? Let me see your thoughts in the comment. Do not forget to subscribe, like, share this video. All right, I'll be back next time. Bye, guys.